This is 990WBOB.com, the home of internet entertainment. From Rhode Island to the world, 990WBOB.com. 990WBOB.com is an independent free media outlet.
This is going to be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard.
We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of the mission.
Should oxygen be needed, a mask will drop from the compartment located above your seat.
Let's play a lightning round game.
My good friend Pal from the cafe.
No, I'm tired of it. I've had it. I've lost my livelihood. Those around me have lost more because of political posturing, because of political games.
And I want to get away with as much bad things as possible, ideally to enrich myself and advance my interests, even if that means putting my interests ahead of the American people.
For the people, not for yourselves, not for your fancy organic ice creams, for your people, for your constituents. It's time to fight back. The revolution starts in all of us. The revolution will not be televised. It'll be on the internet for everyone to see.
The Pal.
This is the Wild Side.
With me today is my friend and confidant, Al. What's up, bud?
A near 6 weeks absence. This network, this world, this universe, this quadrant has had to face without the Wild Side. That is over. We're back. In the big chair, anchoring the Tuesday night edition here on the .com 990 WBOB. This is the Wild Side. I am your host tonight, the Pal. And we've got a big show. Big show. Huge even. Biggest show ever. Tonight we will hear from you. We've got some emails while we were gone. Most of them vulgar. We won't read most of that. Only some of it. Coming up later on in the show. Also, author, editor of ConservativeFiringLine.com, Mr. Joe Newby. Friend of the station, friend of the show. He will return. Always a great time to talk to him. And in just a couple of moments, we'll be joined by two men who know their own fate. They're woke in their own filth. The two Doom men, Mike and Chris. We'll get to them in a moment. Couple things have changed in the 6 weeks we've been off the air.
It's been a long 6 weeks, hasn't it?
For you, potentially. For me, I don't know where they went. It seemed like just yesterday we were sitting here doing a show. One of the things that has changed is the vaccine. It's flowing like wine in Aspen. A couple of million people a day getting it in the arm. This is happening. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Biden's quote-unquote vaccine passports tonight. And we're going to talk about non-vaxxers. That's tonight's subject. And if we can, some Funko Pop stuff, because I'm really into Funko Pops, and who isn't. The other thing that's changed, you're giggling because you're not.
I have no idea what a Funko Pop is.
I had to explain to you what a Funko Pop was today, actually show you an example, which is odd because like you're just sheltered. One of the things that's changed in this show, before you start going off on whatever.
I'm not sheltered. I'm an adult.
I'm an adult. Whatever. I'm an adult. I want to get that
I don't
clip.
play with little action figures.
Yeah, we're going to use that quote too. The other thing that's changed is your name. You're not happy.
Here we go.
With your radio moniker for E-Man. I mean, okay. I mean, that's fine. So for whatever reason, you text me at ungodly hours wanting me to change your name. So I've come up with a few, and we're going to try
that is
some.
Not the way. That's a gross over-exaggeration of what happened. But go ahead. I'll give you this.
We're
go ahead.
We're going to try a few out. So joining me tonight, he's a registered voter. He's a Domino's app Gold member. Jam of the Month Club. He is William B. Hardigan, Notary Republic. Good evening,
At
William.
your service.
How
At
are
your
you tonight?
service. I'm fantastic.
I'm
How are
really
you, pal?
liking that William B. Hardigan Notary Republic.
It's kind of catchy.
It is kind of catchy. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing. Also tonight, we're going to have some fun with the news in just a moment. And to do that, joining us, they're YouTubers, they're podcasters, they're influencers, and they're serious Funko Pop collectors. Now, the Honorable William B. Hardigan doesn't play with little toys. So perhaps Mike and Chris, the two doomed men, could break it down for us what the obsession is with Funko Pops later on in the show. Let's say hello to them now. Mike, Chris, how are you tonight?
How you doing? Good.
All right.
What's going on, guys? I'm doing good.
All right. They've got a lot to say. That's good. I kid. Let's get into tonight's.
Thanks for having us on.
Let's get into tonight's top story. Let's cover some news.
All right.
All right. Tonight's Wild Side News is brought to you by. Hold on, let me look for it. No one. Because they would literally lose business with these headlines. All right. Tonight's top story comes to you from CNBC. William, big fan of CNBC, you are. Amid growing fears of a fourth wave, number 4. Now serving, number 4. Fourth wave of U.S. COVID-19 cases, government officials urged Americans to continue taking precautions to prevent the spread of the virus. During a presser on Monday, did you get invited to the presser, by the way?
No,
Was Ryan Tiberius Fox there from WBOB? Were the two men there? We got to talk to our station manager because...
Unfortunately not.
I mean, what's going on? Why weren't we there? The CDC and Prevention Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky Iwuduha said she had a feeling of, quote, impending doom and urged Americans to, quote, just hold on a little longer. I think that was an 80s song. Later in the day, President Joe Biden said, quote, the war against COVID-19 is purple and not over in Canada, end quote. He condemned behavior likely to spread infections and said some states should pause their reopening plans. Mike, I'm going to throw it to you. Should we slow things down? I don't think it's time. I think it's gas or go, baby, right?
No, I agree with you. I was actually just looking earlier at the numbers in Texas, and Texas's numbers has remained pretty consistent. They have around like a 7-day average of 4,000, and they're completely open, and they got rid of their mask mandate. And compare that to New York State, they've had a tremendous spike in the past 7 days, and they're up to like 10,000 a day. So that kind of doesn't make any sense on Biden's argument.
Chris, we slowing it down?
I just have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry, William. Guess William.
How come all the people who don't wear masks aren't dead yet?
Well, you see.
Good question. Why aren't all the homeless people?
Or those?
Yeah,
Or why aren't
people
we all
fucking
dead yet? Why aren't we all dead yet? Anyways, going on.
You just totally threw me off there.
Sorry. Oops.
Moving on to our next story.
But yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, yes, full steam ahead with this because we have the vaccine. It's only one of two ways. Either A, the vaccine works, we get back to normal, or B, the vaccine doesn't work, so you shouldn't force me to take it then.
So do you feel...
There's no in between.
Do you feel, Chris, are you going to get the vaccine? Are you a non-vaxxer?
I don't know yet. My parents got it, thankfully. They're, of age. They should have gotten it. I want to hold out as long as I can, and it seems like as long as I can is going to be next month when they kick us out of the economy and society without your little vaccine passport. So I'm not sure yet.
William B. Hardigan?
Absolutely not.
You're not going to get it?
Absolutely not.
Even if your government-controlled job says you have to get it, what are you going to do?
Absolutely not.
All right.
I will see you in court.
All right. Well, you're a notary, so. I mean,
an esquire and a doctor. All the above.
Mike, for the record, where do you stand?
No, I'm not going to get it. I already had COVID last May. I had the antibodies. I'm 31. I don't have comorbidities. I don't see any reason to put a foreign substance in my body that I don't need to.
Interesting. All right. So we've got two no's and an undecided. Huh. All right. Moving on to our next story.
What about you, pal?
What about me?
What about you?
Moving on to our next story. Coming from the Business Insider. Your boy. This damn webpage. Your boy said in a news conference, your boy Governor Arias, Florida Governor Ron opened it wide open, baby. DeSantis said he plans to issue an executive order forbidding businesses from requiring so-called vaccine passports across the state. DeSantis said at a news conference on Monday that he would introduce an executive function. Is that like, do they serve tea and coffee at that, or is that
It's
like
notarized, so I'm fairly sure
alcohol.
that it's real.
Is that an 18+ event?
Yeah.
Well, an executive function designed to prevent businesses from refusing to serve customers who were unable to prove they had been vaccinated, while seeking support from the Republican legislature to enshrine the act into law. I'm not for the passport. I'll tell you that. I'll come out on that. I'm not for the passport.
I think a lot of business, if this does go through, a lot of businesses in Rhode Island, or in Florida rather, aren't going to be in business much longer, because if you're telling me that I have to have a vaccine to come and buy your product, really? I'll go somewhere else. Thanks.
Chris, if a certain business or a chain were to say you can't come into our restaurant or fly our airline or drink our product or whatever because you're not vaccinated, are you done with that product?
Yeah, I'm out. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest topics that has me furious right now. This is, the forcing of these vaccines is just wrong, in my opinion. We're land of the free. That's why I agree with Ron.
Mike?
Yeah, Ron DeSantis for president, honestly, man. If I'm a big Giants fan, and if the Giants say that I have to have the vaccine or a vaccine passport to go to the game, I'm going to give up my season tickets, honestly. I'm not accepting this. This is like trampling on civil liberties. And vaccine passport, it's like going to be a one-stop shop for the government to spy on us and collect our data and all that stuff. It's not a good idea. It's kind of the hill we should probably die on, honestly.
We already have a vaccine passport.
Yeah, we got to draw the line.
Yes, line in the sand.
We already have a vaccine passport. It's called the Constitution of the United States of America.
I hear you. They don't care about that one, though.
Well,
no.
They haven't for a long time.
All right.
No. I was thinking before, sorry if I'm interrupting, but we passed the Equality Act where a bakery has to bake you the cake no matter what your sexual orientation is. A private company can't say no to you. But now we're giving private companies the right to say, no, you can't come in our store or buy our products because you're not vaccinated. So it's clearly not a two-way street.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not.
That whole cake thing that's still idiotic to me. Anyways, we're not talking about cakes, we're talking about vaccines.
Moving on. We'll get back to the vaccines in a moment. Moving on, back to Yahoo News now. Mike Lindell, friend of the station, friend of show host Alan Sperty on before us, Rhode Island Red Radio. He's also the CEO of MyPillow, and he's still touting conspiracy theories about voter fraud in the 2020 election. Now, I'm going to tell you, Yahoo News wrote this article very biased. I'm leaving out words in the sentences because it's wild conspiracies and this and that. Most recently, during an appearance on former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon's War Room Pandemic podcast, Lindell, leaving out a word, asserted he has evidence that will eventually get to the Supreme Court and overturn the results of the 2020 election. Donald Trump, quote, will be back in office in August, he boldly proclaimed on the podcast. Mike Lindell, snuffing his MyPillows a little bit too much. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know about that, Trump being back in office in August. So, however, though, I do think Trump's got to give this guy a medal. He's riding the Trump train to the very end. He's like Trump's most loyal guy out there. I give him credit for at least that.
Yeah, but Chris, at this point, isn't he more becoming a Cousin Eddie in the National Lampoon's analogy than being a positive supporter?
Yeah, I got to agree. When I read this, I texted Skaggs immediately. I was like, this guy is wild. It's a hell of an accusation to say Trump will be back in office by August and that the Supreme Court's going to hear his case after they've thrown out all these cases. But I got to give him credit. He's sticking to his guns. I'll always respect somebody for sticking to their guns.
William?
I have to agree. At least he's sticking to his guns. If he has some evidence that nobody else has, or maybe he can get it heard before the Supreme Court, but there's other avenues that have to go through in order to get there. So we'll see what happens.
All right, finally tonight in our news story, because we are way over at this point. Speaking of evidence, the Washington Post, a reputable newspaper, they wrote today, when police showed up at Garrett Miller's Dallas home earlier this year to arrest him on charges that he had participated in the Capitol riot, his wardrobe spoke for itself. The 34-year-old unemployed man, I love how they had to put that in there. Let me restart that sentence. The 34-year-old unemployed man, doesn't need to be in the sentence, who allegedly forced his way into the U.S. Capitol building and threatened a congresswoman and a police officer, was clad in a t-shirt
emblazoned
with a photograph of former President Donald Trump and text declaring, "I was there, Washington, D.C., January 6th, 2021.
There were a lot of people there that day.
I would love to see his. Oh yeah, give me the look. Like, come on. Talk about being caught
See the
with
guy
a
writing
smoking
the
gun.
Simpsons episodes, predicting everything.
And on that note, we'll go to break. This is the Wild Side News, once again brought to you by no one because we're not very good at it. The two Doom men, Mike, Chris, William, Pal, will be back on the other side with the two Doom guys. Stay tuned. Joe Newby still to come, and your emails. Don't go anywhere. This is the Wild Side.
Hey everyone, this is Chris from the Two Doom Men podcast, and our friends over at 990 WBOB asked us to join their awesome growing family. Me and my friend Mike here started a podcast over a year ago, and we talked about the hard topics of politics and things that nobody wanted to touch upon. We've grown our podcast through the past year, and we started to link up with 990 WBOB, and they asked us to become part of their family. And we've been doing their 60-second political news updates that you might have heard starting last week. Right now, we are working with them, and we will eventually have our own show on 990 WBOB. It will be the Two Doom Men, and we will be talking about all the political topics that you're interested in and all the things that the media doesn't want you to know about. So make sure you check out our friends at WBOB, and make sure you check us out at Two Doom Men _podcast for Instagram and our YouTube page at Two Doom Men. Thank you very much.
990 WBOB and Sprout Co-working are teaming up to benefit our furry friends on four legs on Friday, April 23rd with a very special event, Movie Night, featuring the sports film The Sandlot at Sprout Co-working, located at 166 Valley Street in Providence. This whole night will be to benefit the great works of the organization We're Here for the Dogs, a nonprofit group helping dogs and cats locally. Bonetown Burgers and Barbecue will be on site serving up the grub. Narragansett Beer and Long Rifle Brewing Company will be there with refreshments. Plus, we'll have a terrific silent auction from Ocean State Charity Events and a terrific raffle featuring some wonderful items from our friends at Nino's Pizza, Neat Donuts, Wampanoag Country Club, and more. To buy tickets or get more information, click on the Movie Night page right here on 990 WBOB. It's that simple. Join us Friday, April 23rd for Movie Night, featuring The Sandlot, and all to benefit We're Here for the Dogs.
WBOB.com Renegade Radio.
And welcome back for more of the Wild Side on the .com 990 WBOB. He's Willie, I'm Pal, Mike and Chris, two doomed men on the line. Guys, we only have a few minutes in this segment because we went way over talking about vaccines. And we get you guys are basically against the vaccine. You're against the vaccine passport. That's a little bit extreme on Biden's part. And Joe Newby in the next segment is going to talk probably a little bit about. There's already people calling for Biden's head and throwing the impeachment term around based off this one talk about the vaccine passports. A little bit extreme in my eyes. What do you guys think, Mike?
Impeachment, yeah. I don't like throwing the impeachment around for every little tiny thing. That's what they did to Trump. And I don't like the normalization of, the president does something we don't like, impeach him. It's not something we should normalize. They're trying to normalize everything else. Let's not normalize impeachment.
Chris, you agree with that thought?
Yeah. If Trump is literally Hitler, I don't know why Biden's employing all these Nazi tactics. So I'm fine with they wanting to impeach him. I'm with Skag saying, I don't think we should normalize that and nail every president we have the second they do something we don't like. But if we could get Biden out, I don't mind either.
All right, guys, we got about a minute left in this segment. We've been enjoying watching the Two Doom Men on the 990 WBOB Reads page. I got a good look this week at your Funko Pop collection, which was pretty cool. A break from the news. Willie's over here laughing, but Mr. Notary Republic, sometimes you have to do other things in life to, be creative and all that fun stuff. I have to admit, guys, I'll admit it on the air. I pre-ordered my Captain Kirk in a captain's chair the other day.
There you go. That's the appeal of
There you
them.
go.
There's like a nostalgia factor to them.
That was the first one I've ever
They got
pre-ordered.
something for everyone.
So that's he's making faces over here. He's
No, I'm looking at them online. Like I've obviously seen them. I just never really paid attention to what they were. But I mean, they're cute. They're cool.
So what do you guys got coming up on the?
What was your favorite show? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, what was your favorite show there, William?
My favorite show?
Yeah, your favorite TV show or cartoon character.
Oh God.
Wow, it takes this long.
But Gilligan's Island.
I don't think they have. I haven't seen.
They probably got a Gilligan Pop.
I don't know if I've seen the Gilligan. I'll look on the app tonight. I don't know. I've done a lot of research. That one is not a popular one though. If it is, it's probably worth. I saw a Vito Corleone one the other night. He's petting the cat? That one, yeah, that's a pretty rare one, by the way. Any last, my birthday's coming about 3 months away. Anyways, guys, what do you guys got coming up on the old YouTube this week?
Yeah, we got an exciting one coming up, Chris, if you want to fill them in.
Yeah, we are finally going to have an expert on our show. We are going to have Professor Nick Giordano from the PAS Report come on, and he's going to teach us about the scary terms of critical race theory. We're going to talk a little bit about the passports and the whole, white national, domestic terrorist, Antifa stuff going on.
Yeah, he's been a contributor on Fox News. He's been on Tucker Carlson's show before, and he's a really smart guy.
That's terrific, guys.
Professor in Suffolk University.
Yeah, because we're not very smart, so it's good that you talk to smart people, then you can come back and make us smart. So it'll all work out together.
Spreading the wealth.
Spreading the wealth. All right, guys. Two Doomed Men. You can find them on Twitter at Doomed Men, correct?
Men Doomed.
Men Doomed. Okay. For once, my dyslexia, I get, it still fails me. Anyways, we're going to be back on the other side. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to you soon on the air. Two Doomed Men show is coming to 990 WBOB very soon, so stay tuned for more of that. Joe Newby on the other side of the wild side. This is 990 WBOB.
990WBOB.com. This is Mike from the Two Doomed Men podcast with your Tuesday update. The Ever Given container ship has finally been dislodged after spending 7 days stuck and blocking the Suez Canal in Egypt. The Suez Canal is a major economic trade route, and any further delays could have had a significant impact on prices around the globe. This past Sunday, Antifa militants protested outside the Oregon State Capitol building, vandalizing and attacking cars passing by. This was the exact sort of violence the FBI told us was imminent against all 50 state capitals from right-wing militia groups, except it came from the left-wing groups. Funny how that works out. Tune in tonight at 8 p.m. to hear Chris and I join the Wild Side with hosts Pal and Furman to have a good old-fashioned discussion. And you could also check out our latest episode, number 58, Common Sense, where we did a deep dive into the immigration crisis, Biden's first press conference, and gun control. You can watch our podcast on our YouTube channel. Just search Two Doomed Men Podcast. Or you can listen to it everywhere that podcast can be found. For the easiest way to get to it, just go to linktree.com/2doomed men. Again, that's linktree.com/2doomed men. Thank you.